This is the automatic inflatable camping tent from Yoking. I brought it out for a few weekends to see if the promise of fast setup and real livability holds up when you're tired, it's getting dark, and you just want a roof up without wrestling fiberglass poles. Key features that stood out right away are the integrated air pump with a pressure-limiting valve, the double-layer air columns built around TPU bladders, and the 210D silver-coated Oxford fabric with a PU coating rated to 3,000 millimeters. If you're new to tents, that 3,000 millimeter number refers to hydrostatic head, which is a basic waterproof rating that tells you how much water pressure the fabric can resist before it leaks. Anything around 3,000 millimeters is solid for family and car camping. The tent measures 82.6 by 82.6 inches at the floor and 68.9 inches tall, which gave me enough headroom to stand hunched a bit and actually move around instead of crawling. Two D-shaped doors, big mesh windows, and roof vents make it feel airy, and the UV-resistant coating helps cut the harshness of midday sun. From my experience, setup really does take about 2 minutes once the ground is prepped. I clear the site carefully, especially for sharp twigs or gravel. Stake the corners so it doesn't puff up and skate away, and then hit the button. The air beams rise evenly, the valve stops it from overpressurizing, and the structure feels steady once the guylines are tensioned. I like that I can do it solo while juggling cooler duty and keeping an eye on a simmering camp stove. It's the kind of convenience you don't fully appreciate until you pull into a site late and just want to get inside quickly. The air beam structure is different from classic poles. Instead of rigid sticks that can snap, these flexible tubes bend and spring back. In breezy conditions, I watch the tent flex with gusts and then stand right back up. I won't throw wild wind numbers around, but I trust it more in unpredictable gusts than I do thin fiberglass poles. The cabin-like shape and near vertical walls make the interior feel bigger than the footprint suggests. I set a low cot on one side, a small folding table in the corner, and still had room for a full-size inflatable pad. The brand lists it for 3 people, and I agree. 3 adults plus gear works. You can squeeze 4 with tighter packing, but comfort drops. The fabric is 210D Oxford with heat-sealed seams. That's a rugged polyester weave you'll see on nicer car camping tents, and the silver coating reflects some heat. Condensation management is decent thanks to the vents in mesh, but any single wall sections will still bead moisture if you button everything up on a cold night. I crack the vents and leave a door in bud mesh mode to keep airflow moving. The floor is thick enough that I didn't worry about sliding pads, though I still used a footprint to protect against punctures. The air columns are TPU on the inside with a protective fabric sleeve, so if something does nick the inner bladder, you can unzip, access it, and patch it like a bike tube. I didn't puncture anything, but I did test deflation and reinflation of one beam to see how fiddly it would be. It's straightforward if you've ever patched an air mattress. The key is cleaning the spot and using a proper adhesive patch, not just slapping on duct tape. There's one behavior that's worth learning early. Air pressure changes with temperature. Warm afternoon sun will expand the air in the beams, and cold nights will contract it. In my opinion, that's the main mindset shift from poles to air. On a hot day, I crack a little pressure out of the beams so seams aren't stressed. In the morning chill, I top it off for firmness. This is normal for inflatables and takes under a minute. The built-in pump handles it easily, and mine managed multiple inflations on a weekend without begging for a charge. I still bring a compact hand pump as a backup, because I like redundancy when my shelter depends on air. Pack down is where your patience pays off. The tent deflates quickly if you use the pump's reverse function or open the valves, but getting every last bit of air out so it fits the carry bag is a technique. I fold in thirds, roll steadily from the side opposite the valves, and lean my knees along the roll to squeeze out air pockets. It's a mild workout. The pad size is roughly 26 by 10 by 9 inches, and the weight is around 6 kilograms for the tent itself, a bit more in the box. It's totally fine for the trunk, but not something I'd haul on a long trail. It's perfect for car camping, overnighters at drive-up campgrounds, music festivals, or a quick base setup before fishing or climbing. I would not take it backpacking unless someone else carried everything else for me. Let's touch reliability and weather. The tent is labeled as water-resistant and 4-season, and it does have that 3,000 millimeter waterproof fabric rating plus heat-sealed seams. In light to moderate rain, I stayed dry and comfortable. For heavy, sustained storms or blizzard conditions, I'd be cautious. The product page even suggests avoiding severe weather. That's not a knock. Most fabric tents struggle in extreme rain or heavy wet snow load. I run all my guylines. Add extra stakes if the soil is soft, and keep an eye on pooling. The two doors and tall shape help with airflow during summer storms, which keeps the inside less clammy. Power is part of the equation. I charge the pump before trips and toss a USB power bank in my kit. On one weekend, I inflated on arrival, topped off the next morning after a cold night, deflated to move sites, and inflated again without running dry. I treat the pump like any other essential gadget. Charge it, bring a backup plan, and you're fine. If the battery were to die, the tent still accepts air from a hand or 12-volt pump, which is why that backup pump lives in the bag with my stakes and the little valve tool. Speaking of the valve tool, it saved me once. I had a slow overnight sag on a beam, thought it was a leak, then snugged the valve and it held rock solid. Sometimes it's the simple things. Comfort-wise, this tent shines. Standing height in the middle, 2 big doors for easy in and out, and enough space for a queen inflatable pad plus a small table makes rainy day downtime a lot less miserable. The silver-coated fabric blocks enough light that mid-afternoon naps are possible, and the mesh does a good job keeping bugs at bay while still moving air. Noise and wind is lower than thin fly sheets I've used, and the structure doesn't creak like pull sleeves can. In my opinion, the value proposition is convenience plus livability with some responsibilities on the user side. You trade pole reliability for air management and battery awareness. If that sounds stressful, stick to poles. If quick setup and a roomy interior are your priorities, this is a sweet spot. The included kit, rope, 10 pegs, 2 accessory poles, the integrated pump gets you started. The 1-year warranty adds a little peace of mind. It's perfect for anyone who rolls into camp late, families who want a stress-free setup while wrangling kids, new campers who dread pole diagrams, and folks who treat their campsite like a small living room, with cots and a table. I'd recommend this for car campers, festival goers, overlanders with a power station, and anglers or climbers who want a base they can pop up fast between sessions. If you're counting ounces or hiking miles to camp, the weight and packed size are deal breakers. From my experience, the suite routine is simple. Clear the site carefully, stake the corners, press the button, tension guylines, and leave the top vents open unless it's driving rain. Before a hot afternoon, bleed a touch of air. Before a cold night, add a touch. When it's time to go, fold methodically and roll with pressure to help it fit the bag. Keep a small repair patch kit and a backup pump in the sack, just like a spare tube and mini pump on a bike ride. In conclusion, this tent delivers on the promise of quick setup and a comfortable interior, with the caveat that you accept a little extra responsibility with power and pressure. For how I camp, drive up, set a cozy base, and move often, it's been a joy to use. The trade-offs are clear, and the convenience wins for me. You can view detailed information about the automatic inflatable camping tent in the comments section. Thank you for watching.